What's interesting is these are atheists saying that there needs to be some kind of metric to get into heaven. So I posted the video about SatanCon, and that got a lot of backlash because it seems like a lot of people were upset by my word choice of Christians being the salt and light in the world. They felt that that was a very prideful thing for me to say, so I thought I would just start for any atheist that comes on the channel and is curious as to what I meant by that statement. That is a quote from Jesus. That is a calling for a Christian. They were quoting quotes from the Sermon on the Mount at me. So you would think that they would know that the Sermon on the Mount begins with Jesus calling us to be the salt and light in the world. And being the salt and light of the world actually has nothing to do with being better than anyone. It's not coming from a place of pride. If anything, it's coming from a place of service and being sacrificial towards others. Being the salt and light in the world isn't making yourselves better. It's about being that taste of something different or that light in the darkness and being able to share the gospel message of a God who is pursuing man and making a way to reconcile the world unto himself through Jesus Christ, and not a distant and angry God as people so often view the Christian God as, because Roman Catholicism and all other religions have perverted the biblical portrayal of God. Because of that, they have a very skewed version of God because religion has infiltrated what it truly means to be a Christian. So they hear statements like salt and light in the world and they think self righteousness, and they're not seeing that that's actually coming from a place of wanting to change the world for the better, not from a place of self righteousness, but in a place of humility, saying that none of us are righteous and God still loved us, and he provided a way where we don't have to work our way to heaven, which is so contrary to every other faith system out there. Christianity is the only faith system that says it's done, it's taken care of. But here's what's interesting. The argument started, of course, because they thought I was coming from a place of pride. But once I explained that it actually means coming from a place of humility, and I am only justified because the imputed righteousness of Jesus, their tone changed completely into that's not fair. It was so crazy. They saw the doctrine of imputed righteousness not being fair, which is what we even see in our own religious circles. People do not think grace is fair because grace is not fair. But at the end of the day, if grace were fair, we should all be burning in hell. We should all have judgment fall upon us. But by the grace of God, we have a way, which is Jesus Christ. And he is the only way. So they don't like the fact that anybody who puts their faith in Jesus Christ can be justified, because surely there has to be some kind of merit to get your way to heaven because of how suffocated the biblical gospel is by means of religion. As a result, you see people have such a backlash naturally towards Christianity where, oh, they're homophobic, they're bigots, they're intolerant, like we want nothing to do with them. But then when you come from a place of love and say, "Hey, I'm no better than anyone else. I only have the imputed righteousness of Jesus." It's almost as if that provokes them even more. Hearing that grace is available to anyone makes them so angry. And that's what we often do see with the self righteous, the Pharisees, the religious people. So it's so interesting that they are hostile towards Christianity because of religious people, but they share the same ideology with religious people. Not just anyone should be able to enter heaven, because there has to be some standard. Yeah, the standard's God, the standard's perfection. So the irony of them actually subscribing to the same mindset as these religious people, I just find it very hypocritical when they realize it had nothing to do with pride, and I wasn't speaking in a way where I was talking down to them and I was speaking as a religious figure. They then ironically took the same tone that condemning religious figures do. What's interesting is these are atheists saying that there needs to be some kind of metric to get into heaven. But why? They don't take a step back to really think about a lot of things that they're seeing and how inconsistent and contradictory to each other they are. I find it ironic. I find it sad. It shows how universal this idea is, whether you're a theist or an atheist. There's always this idea of, well, there's got to be a certain tier of human merit where I'm at least better than that guy. But when it comes to the Bible, it makes no exception for anyone that we have all fallen short of the glory of God. And we all need the imputed righteousness of Jesus Christ. And unfortunately, a lot of people do not like that message and they want to fall back on their own righteousness because no man wants to be out of the realm of their own control as far as their eternal destiny.